we love our country here on Guam. It's 8:12. Catherine Castro, the Guam Chamber of Commerce head, is coming up here in a little bit. But first, let's go in with Simon Sanchez of the CCU in the KUAM News Zoom room. Good morning, Simon.
Buenas, Viva Mr. Morrow.
Viva! Yeah. Oh, wait, Bree, no cheering.
Why?
Take it back. Go scrub the recording, Joe. We don't want to get a ticket. You can't cheer. Or can you only not cheer in the bars?
You had your mask on.
I did. Okay,
yeah,
that's
good. Cheer into them.
Good point. Good point. All my droplets are going back in my orifices.
No cha-cha.
That's good to know.
Yeah, thanks.
Keep your droplets to yourself.
No cha-cha during Chamorro month.
Yeah, how's that, Bree? You can't cha-cha during Chamorro month. No botsu, no nothing. But you can fundraise, so there it is. 8:13, Simon from the CCU. Simon, good morning, and we'll just get right into it, right? So I know that you guys had said people aren't paying their utilities bills, and PCOR 3, we're looking at some disconnections. Where are we with that? Not yet, right?
Well, just to keep it in perspective, about 98% of our customers are paying their bills.
Okay.
And, whether you're a GovGuam employee or a federal employee, of course, you didn't lose your hours, but the PUA and all the federal assistance from last year really helped people and stay current, and people stayed current. But as you know, some people, the PUA was paused. Great news last week that PUA has been resumed for people. I know we're putting in all our hours for our employees this morning, and that's going to be a big benefit. And I guess the House has passed the Biden plan, so there's expectations for more assistance. But we do have a group of people that have, understandably struggled to get their bill paid, and we're just reaching out to them as we did last summer when we started the program without disconnection, and we haven't made any decision to disconnect. But management is looking at it because they brought it to our attention that we're seeing an increase in delinquencies. And as we said last summer, please come in and see GPA or GWA if you're having trouble. But as you folks have covered last week, we now have the administration that stood up the mortgage assistance, the utility rental assistance program. And we're going to make sure that our websites at the utilities put that on our websites. Let's get that information out to people, because you can catch up on your rent and you can catch up on your utilities with that program. And that would help that universe of people that are still struggling. But we really encourage people, touch base with us. Don't just blow us off. If we don't hear from you, and then you give us no choice, right? But we don't want to put people in a position where they can't get power or water during this time, and we haven't made a decision to resume. But you can see the good news of going to PCOR 3 and maybe PCOR 4 is as you open up, then more things open up. Even the governor couldn't say to landlords, you can never collect rent anymore, and she had to lift that ban. And we're in a similar position. It's not fair if 98% of the people are paying their power. We can't give free power or water to 2% of the people. We've got to help everyone reach that common goal. So the programs are there. We haven't turned off the power yet, but we're water. But we are encouraging people, please come in and reach out to us if you're having trouble. Let's work out a payment plan. We'll work with you, and keep your lights on and keep your water going until you can put it back together financially.
As all this talk about the different assistance with utilities, because I know there was also a grant that Salvation Army and West Care was administering for utilities assistance. So when you kind of hear this dialogue that, hey, we know people out there are struggling to pay their utilities bills, here's some money, does it kind of like throw ice water on moving forward the disconnections? I mean, it doesn't really sound like you guys are there and you're about to pull the plug, but it does sound like you said it's a big part of your talks.
I mean, we have to pay attention to everything, right? I mean, as I said, 98% of the people are doing fine, but there is a small group of people that aren't, and we've got to try to find every way we can to help them, and that's why we haven't turned any services off. But you can't do it forever, right? And we're just sort of being realistic. I mean, Chris, you have to pay your bill. Sabrina has to pay her bill. Simon has to pay his bill, and if we don't want 2,000 people saying I don't have to pay my bill, and that's not fair either. So we're just facing the reality. I think we're all facing. Hopefully, the economy gets back on gets back. Although it's still going to be a struggle. We're going to need this federal assistance. This PUA resolution, I think, was a big piece of it. But yeah, we just just putting the word out. That's why we're letting you know that if you're having trouble, please reach back to the utilities. We don't want to turn off services, but we need to hear from you, and let's work something out. And the good news is the overwhelming majority of our ratepayers, all of you, have really done a great job in a very difficult situation to keep your bills paid. At least that seems to be a priority. We're seeing people with prepaid bills. GPA is able to do prepaid power bills. You can say, here's my $100, you prepay it. And we call you up when you're down to like 25 or 50 bucks and you replenish it and we keep giving you power. But some of those people, once they heard we weren't disconnecting, they weren't replenishing their prepayments. So they became delinquent, but they were still getting the power because we weren't disconnecting. So there's a group of people that sort of game the system that says, okay, well, if they're not disconnecting, I don't need to worry about my prepaid. Well, now you do, because we're telling you that, well, you owe some money and we want to make sure you continue to receive services. So reach back to us. And that's really the main message. And you guys keep that messaging going out about how do you get onto that mortgage assistance program, the utility assistance program, those other programs that are being stood up. Please, get that word out. We'll do the same. Everything we can to help everybody, deal with the craziness of COVID.
How much revenue has GPA lost during this pandemic?
Well, I won't say we've lost the revenue yet. It's like anything. You bill your revenue and then you collect your receivables, right? And 98% of the people have been paying their bills all throughout COVID, but we're seeing an increase in that group of people that are struggling to pay their bills. We're seeing an aging in receivables where some people, well, I missed last month, I'll try to catch up this month. So, you're just seeing the signs of concern, and we'd rather tackle it much sooner than much later. And financially, we can tough it out, right? I mean, we've built up, these utilities are owned by all of you. They're owned by all of us, and we've made sure that we manage that money wisely in providing you service, and that includes putting some money aside to be able to tolerate slowdowns in payments. But we can't do it forever, and we are doing everything we can, and with the help of folks like you, to get the word out that come see us. Keep paying that bill as best you can. Partial payment's better than no payment. And, it's not going to go away. I mean, that's the other thing. It's sort of like your rent or every family has necessary expenses, and they don't go away just because times are tough. You just have to wrestle with that challenge and figure out the best way to address it as you can. And anytime you get in trouble with any vendor that you owe money, the best defense is a good offense. Talk to them. They want to keep your services going to you, but you got to find a way to pay them. And so hopefully these other programs will provide that relief.
The 2%, is that mainly like residential, or is it business, or is it the government?
Yeah, it's mostly residential. Businesses, they either way, if they're still in business, they've done a great job paying their bill. I mean, we've lost customers that have just gone out of business. But most people are paying their bills. And as you've covered all along, I mean, Guam never lost income. Federal government never lost income. And then there was this huge federal assistance. So rightfully so, the people of Guam put their money in that one bucket of need quite well. But there are a group of people that we're noticing the struggle. We're noticing it's increasing the number of people that are delinquent. The aging, the amount of the delinquency is growing. And we want to grab it, catch it and talk about it while it's small. Owing 7-8 months of power or water is not where you want to be, because that's a tough road to hoe if you get that far behind. But we'll work. We have no interest in removing services from folks, but we have to be fair to everybody too. And it's not fair if Sabrina has to pay her bill, then sooner or later Simon has to pay his bill, and even if Simon's struggling. So that's what we're working on.
Where do you think this delinquency and arrears is coming from? If people have been receiving federal assistance, PUA, things like that?
My guess is it's coming from people that took some of that money and decided not to pay their utility bill because they weren't being disconnected. But that movie's not going to go on forever. And so, now forever just showed up. So I think it sort of proves that most people did the wise thing. They took care of their family's most important needs, and but the few that are struggling, we're just telling you now, come see us. go apply for these programs, try to find some work, apply for those PUA benefits that now have been reopened, and get a payment plan to the utilities for those of you that are struggling. Chris is current on his bill. I checked.
Is there a deadline when you plan to pull the plug on the no disconnection policy?
We're letting management come back to us in the March meeting with a plan. So I imagine whatever it is, it won't start till April. And I think that gives enough of these other programs a chance to get off their feet too, and maybe they can help people. But yeah, we'll look at it. We'll look at it in March, and we'll see what the plan is. But I wouldn't be surprised if some changes are going to emerge in the next 45 days from the utilities. It's something's going to have to happen for those that are struggling. But if you have a payment plan, we can go 6 months, 8 months. I mean, it's again, the best defense is a good offense. So come talk to us. Don't just ignore it, because we won't ignore it eventually.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there anything else, Simon?
No. Just very happy to hear that the pool got resolved, and I've heard about these programs, and bless you, Chris. And I think just everyone in tourism, and we're very involved with tourism. We know that that's still a year away from any kind of recovery. So it's going to be slow. But for those that are able to get and remain employed and paid, federal, local, PUA, do what you can. And then there are businesses that, we're reaching into our reserves and keeping our businesses going, because, we intend to be here for the long haul. But sometimes, when I talk to Phil Flores a lot, and we've been longtime business partners, when you have businesses that have been in business 30, 40, 50, 60 years, you're going to have situations like this. But you're not going to get to 50 years unless you deal with them, right? And we're dealing with them, and we're able to keep all of our people employed, and that's a blessing. But we sure hope tourism comes back, because the economy needs it, and folks need it, and then we'll see whether we can do. Talk to business people all the time, all these diversifications of industry, what else, other industries we can bring, but none of them are going to come overnight, right? Our bread and butter is tourism. The infrastructure's here. We just need our Korea and Japan to end quarantine when you go back to Korea and Japan. And then of course we have our own situation, which, continues to improve. I mean, despite all the angst, we've got lots of people with shots and low hits now, and the Cabrera score is low, and our hospital's not overrun. I mean, that's the list of stuff you folks have been covering for over a year about. That's the checklist, right? I mean, those things are going better. The community's better. So we're better, but it's the economy has taken a hit. But I don't know, even if we were better 6 months ago, that wouldn't have made Japanese visitors come anymore, or Korean visitors. The whole planet has gone through this, and we're going to have to recover with the whole planet. But then that means we got to hang in there together during these challenging times.
Well, thank you.
And listen
Thank
to
you.
the link.
Right. Thank you, Simon. Yes, definitely listen to the link,
Thank you.
guys. Appreciate it, my friend.
Okay.
Okay,
You
we'll
folks
see you.
take care. All
You
right. Have
too.
a good week. We'll
You
be
too.
watching and listening.
All right.
right.
Appreciate it. Simon Sanchez of the CCU. Let's keep it in the KUAM News Zoom room and bring on Catherine Castro of the Guam Chamber. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Try to change the angle.
There, good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, but it's still going to look at
Who do we
us.
got? Oh, that's can we mute Simon?
Before it was pinned down.
Hi, Kathy. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning and half a day, everybody. How are you?
Good, we're doing great. So, full disclosure, I ran into Kathy yesterday at the gas station, and I was like, "Oh, hey, come on!" And I don't know if she knew I meant today, but